state has two kinds of functions. One is compulsory functions, the second one is optional functions. So, a modern state has to fulfill certain functions for its existence and continuance. So, regarding compulsory function, the state has the responsibility to provide safety and security regarding the protection of life, liberty, and personal property of every subject or citizens living within a state, while giving protection to every individual's personal life, liberty, and property. It has two different kind of compulsory functions. One is internal and the second one is external. Regarding the internal security and safety, regarding the life, liberty, and property of the subjects and individuals, it has to maintain law and order. For the maintenance of law and order, it has to maintain an organized, efficient police force and also a paramilitary force. And in this way, it can provide protection and safety or security to individuals' life, liberty, property. So also the different institutions or organizations functioning within the territory of the state. So, maintaining a well-organized police force or a paramilitary force is absolutely a compulsory function or a compulsory necessity of a state. Regarding the external compulsory function, the state has to maintain the sovereignty and integrity of the territory in respect to the land, water or territorial water and the air space. So for its security, safety and for maintaining the territorial integrity, it has to maintain an well-organized and competent defense force, and that defense force both in the form of military, air force and naval force to protect the border, so also the territorial integrity of the state. Besides that, also a state under its compulsory function has to maintain external affairs, and by this way it can maintain diplomatic missions, embassies, and appointment of ambassadors, high commissioners to different modern states, and also by receiving the ambassadors and high commissioners from other countries. So in this way, state has to maintain the compulsory function by its different organs. So also state has to maintain and make laws and under an well-organized legislative authority, and it is also the duty of every state to execute those laws and also an well established judicial system to maintain the effectiveness of those laws which are enunciated or enacted by its parliament or executed by its executive authorities. So, these are the important compulsory functions of a state. Regarding the second one, which is an optional function of every state, and optional function purely relates to all economic and developmental activities of a state. So it always relates to development of trade, commerce, and development of arts, science, culture, heritage, protection of monuments, etc. So also all different kind of welfare activities relating to education, health, social service are also part of optional function of a state. And now in a modern state, optional functions are receiving more importance in countries like India and some of the African, even in some developed countries. Not only the developing countries, but also the developed countries, they adopted different welfare schemes and missions to achieve economic development of the citizens or individuals or subjects living in a state in the sphere of education, health, housing, science, technology, commerce, business, and all sports and cultural activities, where the state has to play a major role for the development of the people or subjects of a state. The expansion of states' activities are very important regarding its execution and implementation of different optional functions for overall development of the subjects, citizens, and above all the entire state.